is. Let me see. Testing, testing.
Testing.
Testing one.
Testing. Testing.
Yep, I hear you both. But, hello YouTube, this is Davmar1079 coming at you as a World of Warship Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day live stream. And I'm also joined by my friend Driven. Say hello.
Hi, hello.
Today, since it is a Pearl Harbor stream, as you can see, Arizona here, the ship that pretty much was the start of the Second World War for us, we will be playing primarily Pearl Harbor battleships, which there are a couple of them. Sadly, we do not have all of them because either they are older 12-inch guns, capital ships like the Florida class, which is there was only one there, the Utah, but we have all the other ones. Pretty much, which some sister ships, unlike the Texas and New York that have each other, and Nevada and Oklahoma, Arizona does not have her sister ship Pennsylvania, which was the first Pearl Harbor battleship to be brought back since she was in dry dock when she was hit one time. So, if they have sister ships, and we do not have them in the game, we will substitute them for the other ships. So in that case, instead of Maryland, we shall be playing with her sister ship Colorado. Just like we'll be probably playing Arizona twice. Just because we don't have Pennsylvania. But to start on the list, we shall go the Nevada class first. Nevada and Oklahoma.
Wait, they never had Pennsylvania or what you call it in here?
Nope.
Huh. I'm surprised.
But yes. I have my book here that I do most of my research on and all that. Pretty much. For these games, if not videos I look up, which are helpful as well to get a better understanding. And yes, I know there are a lot more ships in Pearl Harbor. There are 52 ships that were actually in Pearl Harbor. Auxiliary ships, destroyers, cruisers, light cruisers, but don't have all that in. That would probably take a long time to
I was about to say
get around.
That
would probably be as many ships as my friend Driven has, or I think now he has more.
Yeah, I got more than that, but still. There you go.
Which, as you can see, since these are battleships based off of them, probably as built or just built up a little bit, these ships, mainly except California, are all in their Pearl Harbor configuration. So, basically, well, Arizona and Pennsylvania will probably be about the same. So, since she never got the extensive refit, but as you'll see, the difference between Tennessee and her sister ship California, drastic difference. Pearl Harbor before and after Pearl Harbor.
Enemy force detected.
Which no other ship has, or these ships would probably be all of them would probably be a tier 5, since pretty much the American doctrine I've heard from plenty of people is, if there's an empty space there, put a gun there. Which, and a lot of these other ships, I think the carrier, so many ships I have to remember, I apologize. Pretty much that gun, that AA gun I just showed, the Chicago Piano, the only other ships to really keep that for a good part of the war is the aircraft carrier. I hate it when it's right there. Luckily it's not a video. And I have it right here. Enterprise. Enterprise is the only one that probably has one of those things. I was about to say, don't, just because I'm doing a Pearl Harbor stream does not mean a Japanese aircraft carrier needs to attack me.
We're hold below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
And also this, for the people that don't know Pearl Harbor, or just like the game and just play it just because, I like Warships and all that. When I say like the Utah is a Florida class battleship, I'm not talking about the Florida battleship in the game. There was a Florida class of battleship that was pretty much both classes were disarmed and turned into training AA gunships practically. Their 12-inch guns were replaced with 5-inch twin 5-inch turrets that you can see on the North Carolina, South Dakota, and Iowa class, even the later Montana class, which were never built.
Dave, I need your help.
I'm coming.
Which you might not survive, but already.
Nope. Well, the difference between the Nevada and Oklahoma, like Arizona, she was a total loss. Yes, technically, for the people that looked it up, Oklahoma was raised in Pearl Harbor, but on her way back stateside, she got loose of her moorings and they couldn't find her in time, so she sunk.
Do you remember what I got sunk by? I don't remember.
What you were sunk by? You were probably sunk by the Congo over there. Were you talking about your...
No, it was a destroyer. I flooded. Oh. Or not a destroyer,
Then you got killed by that little Japanese. Or that cruiser.
Lord.
No, if it was a cruiser, then you got killed by a Frenchman.
Oh. I think it was a cruiser.
But yeah, let's
see, where was all my teammates at? Like, 2 of them right there.
Don't mean nothing.
I was the only one in the front. They weren't giving no backup or nothing.
No, that's still what they do. You should know that better than anyone. If I'm not there, they're not there. Well, you're shit out of luck. Let's see. To just give the damage report of the Pacific Fleet, let's see. Nevada here, she was damaged and beached, returned to service in October 1942. And as you can see, Driven is real professional, allowing a freaking house phone to be wrong, which...
I didn't expect it.
Real professional, who cares? But yes, I will... Every time when we play the different ship, I will say when what was damaged by, since it has my little damage con right here in my book. If you have this book, which I've mentioned it before, War at Sea, a naval book pretty much dating back from 39 to 45, pretty much giving you massive sea charts and all that, and bits of reading and everything, which I can pretty much say right here about the Pearl Harbor raid. The first wave of Japanese raid on Pearl Harbor comprised 183 aircraft under Commander Mitsuo. I'm not even going to try and butcher his name, so I do apologize. But was launched between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. Hawaiian time. The objectives were an attack on the U.S. Pacific Fleet, pretty much as they were stationed, and also they kind of planned it to be on Sunday when the attack originally happened, since, well, a lot of the people are off, they're having short time, people are getting ready for church at those times, a lot of the commanding officers are not on board, all the stuff is locked up, the ammunition and everything, so can't really bring all their AA guns to bear.
Torpedoes to port.
And to tell you, we're skipping ahead.
Torpedoes astern.
Ready to take a shot. To go on to a little bit further ahead, pretty much.
Torpedoes to port.
The second wave comprised of 167
We're hull below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
aircraft, launched around 7, reached their targets by 9:15, and the raid was over by 10 a.m. Mixed. And pretty much they didn't really get all the battleships that we had. Like I told my friend Driven here yesterday, he asked, what about like Texas and New York? They weren't there. They were in the Atlantic Ocean alongside the carrier Ranger and also the brand new North Carolina class battleships. But as soon as it happened, North Carolina and probably USS Washington, if she was in commission at that point, they were immediately shipped over to the Pacific, straight to Pearl Harbor, and straight out to war. And what was your question, Driven?
What'd you say was in Pearl Harbor? Wyoming, Nevada, Oklahoma.
Nevada, Arizona, Tennessee, West Virginia, Maryland,
Tennessee.
Oklahoma, California.
Tennessee, that's what it was. Tennessee, wow.
Pretty much I'm going down the line. If they have a sister ship, I'll go with them, since that was a ship. Gotta give them all honor. They all lost a lot of lives that day. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona was the one that lost pretty much the major percentage of the attack.
Which one is the one that got the memorial on?
Arizona.
I don't know.
And Utah. She was never raised at all either. They wanted to get the more modern ones up, and probably, I guess, how damaged she was, which I guess since I don't have her ship, I give her some mention if I can. Where is she on this? Damage to the Pacific Fleet. They only have the other frontline battleships. It's Utah. Was number 16. She was on the other side of the U.S. Naval Air Station when the attack happened. Sadly, it doesn't say on here, since I guess she was an older unit, so pretty much she was probably, it says here on the little key elements, she was a sunk ship. Her, I'm pretty sure, like the rest of them, torpedoed or bombed. And kind of ironic, since her 12-inch guns were taken to make into 5-inch dual-purpose guns, which I guess, since like everything else, everything was locked up, so they couldn't get to it. And as you can see with Nevada, she's even more Pearl Harbor configuration. She's probably actually in her service configuration prior to all of this. She's probably she's got a light anti-aircraft guns, so she's not even got the Chicago pianos that her sister ship had. Since Nevada here, or not Nevada, Oklahoma, has taken some damage, and she still is, and she's under attack by aircraft, which is from Ark Royal, a British ship. Oklahoma. Let's see here. As soon as I tell the dog to shut up. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oklahoma. Capsized, flooded in 1943. Or, no, she was capsized, refloated in 1943, but damaged beyond repair. But she's not there. She's somewhere in the Pacific between Hawaii and California, since that's where she was going. I don't know if we found her wreck, but I'm really taking a beating.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Buy an aircraft carrier at least.
Man, I thought us together would help with the...
No, you have a little bit more of a modern aircraft and aircraft defense. So that's the Nevada class down. So after that would be the Pennsylvania class, which is Arizona. So Arizona will be played twice. I shall talk about her sister ship, Pennsylvania, her damage and everything, and what little I know about it, and then we'll go to Arizona. It would almost make it poetic justice to end the video with the Missouri if I had her, since the symbolic beginning of World War II is the Arizona. The symbolic end of World War II is Missouri, since the war ended on her decks, in Arizona and Missouri are right next to each other at Pearl Harbor, with Missouri's guns elevated up, watching over her and all her crew that still remains in her to this day. Which, if you've ever watched the World of Warship video, them talking about Missouri, I agree with the people in the comments. It is a little bit of a tearjerker when they talk about certain things.
I'm about to die.
You can see that. Even the one about Iowa in the Naval Legends videos of it is the same way for me when it gets to bringing all the people back home under the Golden Gates Bridge in California. Like, the Arizona, we should now, but technically we will be talking about the Pennsylvania, since that is her ship. These two are the same.
That's a tier 5.
Which, for all of you that are interested, you can see here a little bit of a brief bio about it, of these classes of ships, when they entered, and how many of there are. So I guess real quick, for the ones that missed,
Nevada, right?
I'm doing Arizona now.
Yeah, but Nevada was in there, right?
Yeah, Nevada was in there.
Or Nevada, yeah.
You can see, even though technically it doesn't count for Arizona or Pennsylvania, but still got it right here. But yeah. Now, Pennsylvania, Arizona, pretty much the same. Pennsylvania kind of got probably a little bit more upgrades, but not really. Since she was the least damaged, she was the first one back in service, so she never got the extensive refit or even big refits of most. She was at the Battle of the Sargasso Strait, where her and all the other Pearl Harbor battleships bombed the Fuso in Hiroshima. I know I'm butchering the name, and I apologize for Fuzo's sister ship's name. Yamashiro, that was it. They bombed them both into submission, but since Pennsylvania was the first one back in, she never upgraded, so she had the older computer system, so she didn't really get to bombard Fuzo and Yamashiro into submission really all that much. She was pretty much an artillery ship to attacking land-based targets, which pretty much this. Pennsylvania was probably more at risk at Pearl Harbor with the three destroyers that were with her in the dry dock. Which, if your pictures, you can see standard type battleships that can fit, two of them can fit in the dry dock together, as if where the Iowa class cannot. Others, pretty much for Pennsylvania. The Pacific Fleet flagship in dry dock receives slightly damaged. She was hit by a bomb once. The real damage came to the other ships in there. So she was at risk of just those things, probably blowing up, catching fire, or something like that. But this came back to bite her in a few times, I found out recently. Yeah, she was the first one back in. She did participate in a lot of battles, as she could. She did not have great luck at times. As I found out, the war was just about to end. We had just bombed Hiroshima. Hiroshima was already bombed. Nagasaki was already bombed 3 days ago after the Japanese were going to surrender. So everyone on board was happy and think nothing of it. A couple days before the surrender happened on Missouri's decks, she was attacked by a lone torpedo bomber, and she was almost sunk, pretty much, since she didn't have the up-to-date anti-aircraft systems like everyone else, and plus no one was expecting it. She was basically Pearl Harbored a second time, almost, except she was at Okinawa, where this happened.
Which one are we talking about?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yes, this is a little bit about her. And pretty much, she was in critical condition where they hit her. A lot of people were killed, some officers that were doing reports saying, thankfully I was not on duty in my normal station. I was here. If I was, I would have been dead. The captain got some broken ribs of the shit. He got some broken ribs during the event and everything, so he was hurt. They had tried to get the flooding so much under control. They even had hoses to pump her out, coming out of her 14-inch gun turrets.
The ship is on fire.
So that's what was going on with her. But she was moved to shallower waters to where if she sunk, at least she would settle down in shallower water, and they could salvage her later for either scrapping or just to get her. I apologize, my mom was asking me a question. But yeah, that was going on. To that point, they did basically what they did was turpits. They got smoke generators, which actually that was beforehand, so I got a little bit of the history. They did smoke generators, but since the wind, everything else was covered up except Pennsylvania. So the lone torpedo bomber attacked Pennsylvania. So that's kind of what happened, and after that point everyone was stationed at their anti-aircraft gun areas until basically the war was over. At nighttime she was stationed in everything else.
Fighter airborne.
Which then, since they thought the war's over, she's damaged, it would take a lot more to repair her than she's worth right now. So, like most battleships or trophy ships, she was sadly expended in the Bikini Atoll test, and she was nuked twice. Nuked above water explosion and underwater explosion.
Torpedoes, direct front.
So, but I'm pretty sure, like most ships, she survived. Unless she was at point blank range, then I'm pretty sure she wasn't. I forgot to say that was basically the fate of Nevada as well. And she was painted orange so they could see her better. And Nevada was upgraded to a point of she's almost basically a brand new ship. She had the twin 5-inch guns mounted wherever they could, basically made her a new ship almost. So, which you'll see that a ship that was what it looked like at Pearl Harbor, and then after the events, after major modifications to where some people think now, should have kept them around. So, like when they thought bring back the Iowa class battleships, these are cheaper and older units. If they lose them in the war, oh well, not an expensive investment. To where if we lost an Iowa during North Korea when the idea was thought of, that would be a lot. And sorry, I'm talking more than you, Driven. Do you have any questions or comments or anything?
Nah, you're good.
You're just enjoying the history lesson?
Pretty much.
Don't have any questions for me or anything?
Not that I know of. Not right now.
Not now, or not that you know of. Don't be afraid to ask the question, student, I guess. Acting like a damn teacher.
Hull breach.
Yeah.
Taking on water quickly.
I like getting refreshments off of this.
And I'm psyched. Damn.
Not yet, I ain't. Come here.
Well, I am. Pretty much, just go to the other side that's not on fire and blackened from the smoke and the damage and all that. Pretty much all those 5-inch single mount guns, those casement guns, they were gone.
Yikes.
They were anywhere they could put a 5-inch dual-purpose gun, they did. 40 millimeters, everything. Which him dead. Pretty much, that would be the end. Oh wait, can't go back. Can't use Arizona until that battle's over, so we might have to skip Arizona's talk and come back to her when she's back. Ew.
Can you do something with Wyoming? I know that we haven't played with her yet.
Well, she's not a Pearl Harbor battleship. I think the Wyoming class were gone due to the treaty.
Wait. Was that the wrong one?
Wrong one. Utah and Florida were the only other 5-inch gun pre-Dreadnought era Dreadnought era battleships, and they were already gone. So I'm surprised they don't have the Florida class. They were technically bigger than the Wyoming class because they had an extra gun turret. Well, let's do it this way. When Arizona comes back, or actually, let's just wait for now on Arizona, because what was there? How many ships do you think? 3 of ours were left or something, so she'd probably be back here soon. No response, got it.
I'm sorry.
How many ships were left after you think?
Left after...
You died.
Just 2 left. An aircraft destroyer and a destroyer.
So it shouldn't be, well, it's going to be longer then because the carrier's trying to stay hidden and the destroyer, well, forget it. So we might as well play with a different class of ship until then. Sorry, I don't know much. This is going to be a little bit different because I don't know much about the Tennessee class battleships. Oh wait, never mind. Here's Arizona, so never mind. We'll play Arizona as her. Now, we'll talk about her sister ship, we'll talk about Arizona herself. So, find a ship driven.
I'm trying to find one that I can use. Hold on.
You can reuse another one if you want.
Phoenix was in there, wasn't she?
Yes, Phoenix, a light cruiser. She was there. She was number 3. So where is number 3 at on here? Oh, she was by herself. She never even got hit.
Well, she was there.
Well, I can't play. I'm a tier 5. You're a tier 3.
Shoot. New Orleans? I have New Orleans?
Let me see if a New Orleans was in there.
I was looking if I had a New Orleans. Oh.
Helena, that's a tier 6. Light American cruiser. Let's see, she was 34, so 34. Where was she at on this Pearl Harbor? 34. Oh, she was sunk. But it looks like most of them were returned to service. Pretty much all of them were returned to service. Which I'm guessing you don't have that tier. Another tier 3, St. Louis. Light cruiser.
I thought I had a West Virginia. Didn't I have a West Virginia?
No, that's a premium battleship. You have to buy that one.
Sheep.
Well, this.
Well, I'll just go with Oklahoma again.
I was about to say, would you like maybe to play the enemy, maybe? The Japanese. Which...
What, a Japanese aircraft carrier? Well, I don't even have a...
Well, battleship or battle cruiser, technically, since... Well, technically, you'd have to play as the Congo, since the... Basically, there are 2 Congo-class battleships there, but not Congo herself you could do. If you want it.
Is Helm? I don't have Helm, more than likely.
What is this? You just want to do Oklahoma again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Guess we're sticking to it. Pearl Harbor battleships only.
I don't have a bunch of Americans except for battleships anyways.
Which is basically what we're doing, just the Pearl Harbor battleships. Now Arizona, we're gonna try with her rewind the clock. It is on the eve of the end of the First World War. Her sister ship, I'm pretty sure Pennsylvania, was already had entered service. She was fully commissioned and everything into the United States Pacific Fleet, and she was the flagship of the Pacific Fleet. Well, Well, yeah, she was the flagship in the Pacific Fleet. I don't know about the Atlantic, potentially, or that was just an older ship. But Arizona here, much like plenty of ships after World War II, she was late for the war. The First World War had already ended, and Arizona missed it by a couple of weeks, I think. And pretty sure from there she went into naval gunnery practice, potentially training and all that with a bunch of the other ships in the newly reformed battle cruiser converted into aircraft carriers, and plenty of naval exercises, which actually ironically, one of them was exercises that they did was, could a battle fleet of carriers sneak up and attack Pearl Harbor? And yes, successfully done with the aircraft carrier Lexington, and I believe her sister ship Saratoga. I think they were each on different sides and everything else. Jeez. Please, the Arizona alone, at least let me talk about her history and everything. You can sink me after I'm done talking about her, which I've already talked to her about it once.
Problem solved, sir.
Give me a second, stream. Deep break. Man, pretty much, where was I? Do you remember Driven? Just had to talk to me mom about some stuff real quick.
She's also talking about before your ship was dying, or before...
Oh yeah. And I gotta help me mother since she's a pipsqueak.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Right, I'm glad I don't have to help her anymore. Just making sure she got it done. Her little sticky tab thing. But yeah, before they kill me, at least let me get the history. Pretty much, as I said, they did some naval tests. I'm pretty sure Arizona might have been one there where... Yeah, they did it. With that testing and all that. Which, ironically enough, I'm surprised they didn't see that coming, since, hey, we did the testing, it's capable, it's possible, small task force can sneak up on Pearl Harbor and attack it, which, who'd have thunk? Something like that would actually happen. It is. But, like Oklahoma, which was actually raised, but then total loss, Arizona was bombed with... She was probably lightly damaged before, but like she is now, as I'm turning around in circles and sinking. So, Driven, if you could come my way and help me with will to rebuild
myself.
Get over here. You're my support.
Well, I was supporting you until them torpedoes came.
Yes, as I was saying. They didn't learn nothing from it, but Arizona, she was attacked, and she was the first major casualty. Over 3,000 lives were lost at Pearl Harbor, with over 1,000 of it, of the death toll, was of Arizona's crewmates. One bomb struck her forward of her superstructure, pierced through her magazine, and detonated a powder mag. The explosion was so powerful, she jumped out of the water by other people, witnesses that saw it. Pretty much, she burned for over weeks. Because of all the fuel oil and everything, Pearl Harbor burned for a long time. She was considered pretty much a total loss, so after a while, they cut off her mast and everything, and her aft guns were perfectly intact, so they took the one aft turret that was sticking out of the water, took it off, so they could use her 14-inch guns, I'm pretty sure, for either the Nevadas or Pennsylvania herself, donating her parts to her sister ship or any other ships that were older than her. Pretty much, I think after a while, I think maybe not even the first anniversary of Pearl Harbor, where found out that the battleship New Jersey, her hull was launched the first anniversary, and I think around then herself was committed to a war grave and a memorial, so they did not touch her after that. After that, left her be. Let us drop over to Driven to see how good he's doing. Ooh,
not so good. Not so good.
Well, technically, you're not supposed to survive. Arizona and Oklahoma, not supposed to survive. So, sadly, you're gonna have to. Which, you might have no choice in the matter. You can't. It's historically proven. You were raised, but then you were lost. Hey, she took out one, and she got killed by an American. Not good. But now, we go on to the more modern of after the Pennsylvania class, which are the Tennessee class. Which I will say this, Tennessee has a little bit more anti-aircraft gun firepower than the next ship that's next to her, which is West Virginia. West Virginia is in her pure Pearl Harbor configuration. And technically so is Tennessee, whereas Tennessee's sister ship, California, is upgraded. Pretty much, there was a thing before the North Carolina's South Dakota class came into commission. The Big Five, where the 2 Tennessee class and the 3 Colorado class battleships. They were the Big Five, as they were known, because they were most modern, they were the biggest, even though Tennessee class, they had 14-inch turrets, but they had a lot of them. They had 12 of them, whereas the Colorados only had 4 turrets as well, but they each had dual 16-inch guns of the .45 caliber. And pretty much they say after the configuration of West Virginia, she looked more like the Tennessee class battleships. Which I forgot to say, Arizona exploded, total loss. Pretty much, if you couldn't figure, I guess for that little bit right there.
Action stations.
And I'm gonna have to breathe because my friends, when they hear me do an outro for these videos or live streams, they say I don't take a breath, it seems like. So I'm gonna have to, because I don't need to be lightheaded, and then I'm gonna have Driven do the rest of the stream if I pass out.
If you pass out and the stream keeps going, it's gonna come to a point where I'm gonna be like, be quiet, and then be all of a sudden, well guys, nice talking to you. Have fun with Dave.
Yes, well, I gotta take some breaths here and then, since everyone has said you don't need to take a breath once in a blue moon. But, let's see. Tennessee, she was number 21, she was in Battleship Row. She was actually she was actually in front of Arizona. So, it was actually the funniest thing about it is, technically, all these ships were on fire, but once Arizona blew up, she put out all the other fires on all the other ships surrounding her. Ooh.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Dang, already.
That's a stupid
The
carrier.
Ranger came out to play.
Yeah, just because you weren't at Pearl Harbor doesn't mean you're gonna get as much. You're not gonna not get damaged in the process.
Fighter airborne. Bullseye.
Oh Lord. Oh. Oh.
That is.
Capture the base.
And
Fighter returning to ship.
you gotta be kidding me. Do that, Driven.
Thanks, Dave.
Oh, no. Damn you! I'm the one who spotted her first.
Well, thank you.
Fuck you.
I just happened to get to. I happened just to have the luckier shot.
Yeah. Pretty much it says here in the keynotes, Arizona here, or not Arizona, Tennessee was damaged. It says here was the damage to the Pacific Fleet. Tennessee, damaged, returned to service, February 1942. So she came back pretty quick. Let's see. Doesn't even give a return to service date for the Pacific's flagship, Pennsylvania, which she was in dry dock, so no damage. She pretty much went right back to the United States and for whatever she needed and just went back. But let's see. The only other one that was in the same year was Maryland, a Colorado class, which we will be replacing Maryland with her at the name to the start of the line ship, which is California. They're Colorado, so again, don't know why they don't have her. And if she was
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port.
sorry about that. I went mute for a second while I was talking. I don't even... Do you remember where I was?
solved, sir.
No, okay.
Concentrate fire.
Yes. Oh, now I remember. Yeah. Because we don't have Maryland, which they should, since maybe she's configured to what the California is configured to. At least maybe have another ship, a higher tier ship, maybe like a tier 6 like Colorado is herself, to have another Pearl Harbor battleship in here and actually have it like that. And Driven, why ain't you talking? I haven't even heard you make
Oh,
a peep.
sorry. My bad. I don't. My bad.
With this, do you think maybe they should add a Colorado class battleship that looks like what it was after Pearl Harbor?
Yeah. I mean, they got every other ship. They need to put Pennsylvania and what else? Maryland in here.
Yeah, Maryland, the Colorado class ship, and they could put the original Florida battleship, or Utah at least, one of the two, since they like putting tier 3s in, so that would be a tier 3.
Solved, sir.
Or just make it a bigger, heavier, and more annoying version of the Atlanta class light cruisers. It's just got nothing but, it's got the 5-inch guns and then has
Dave, can you aim at this thing? Like, can you like
oh, it could have just
put some guns on it?
I'm turning the starboard so my secondary guns can open up on her.
Yeah, if I could just. Oh. Close.
If you could get over here and help me get to the wheel to rebuild, that'd be nice.
Well, I'm trying. Kinda gotta back up.
Just go at 1/4 speed and start turning. Or you already stuck.
I was already on a mountain. That was a good cluster right there.
Our team has taken the lead.
Come on now, back up. Come on. Put your butt in gear.
If I want to go that way, there's steam turbines. They gotta bleed off steam, then you divert it and get it going and everything. Might as well launch my plane so it can survive. Dies by a Japanese.
Dagamutsu.
Yeah, the one ship that neither of us have, that your cousin has, who doesn't play the game anymore.
It'd be like that. Alright, Mutsu.
Oh, actually,
Daddy's home.
I didn't see this, but it says here, American casualty numbers 2,403 killed, 1,178 wounded. While 188 aircraft were destroyed and 159 badly damaged. Only 43 remained operational.
Goodbye, Mutsu.
And pretty much this. They didn't send a third wave like they should have to go after our fuel tanks and everything, and more importantly, if they would have had, we would have had the aircraft carriers in the harbor, we would have not really done it. They would have captured maybe the Midway Islands, and they probably would have even come as far as the Hawaiian Islands. And just in case, for the people that don't know when they watch this now or later, live or a video, the Pearl Harbor is located on the is located on the Hawaiian island of Oahu. She is technically, I guess, if you don't count the little tinier islands off the coast, she is the 4th island in the chain.
My bullets went. My shells went everywhere.
And I guess since you wait on Driven to either win the game or die, which he'll win the game.
We shall win.
Pearl Harbor does not have that of a deep harbor. She's deep enough for ships, even modern ships today, to get in there. Even nuclear. Well, I don't really think nuclear carriers, but pretty much all the new Arleigh class and maybe even Essex. Not Essex. What the hell are those? Not the Ford. They're probably the Ford class, but maybe they're too big. What are the class that they're just now decommissioning after or before the Ford? If you know, Driven.
I do not know.
Oh, no, not Essex. What the hell are those? Nimitz class carriers. That's it. They can fit in Pearl Harbor waters too, even though they're super carriers. Still, technically. And also the light carriers that the Marine Corps uses, landing crafts, but mainly you would see others. Also submarines too, if to the surface. Pretty much old torpedoes would have to go down 6 feet, and then they could level off, maybe some even lower, but not deep enough. So the Japanese came up with a genius invention to put a little wooden paddle on there to help it instantly go right up and go right to the target in the harbor. Now, to show you what a Pearl Harbor battleship looked like after it was upgraded and modernized to a whole new ship. This is the Tennessee's sister ship and one of the big 5 at the time, California. Pretty much, like they said, if it's empty, put a gun there. And like they did that, and they put 5-inch guns, dual 5-inch guns. So she's basically a brand new ship. They did that also with West Virginia, to where, since they added new torpedo ballister tanks, a lot of these Pearl Harbor era battleships could no longer, well, basically none of them, I think, besides maybe Pennsylvania, could go through the Panama Canal anymore. They're just too wide. Even at the time, the Iowa classes had an inch on each side to go through. But the newer ones, they couldn't. The torpedo ballister tanks just made it impossible, so they were stuck in the Pacific. That's where they stayed.
Well, I'm getting money at least.
Yep. Getting money, refresher on your history, everything. But I just still can't believe that. Where finding that out is kind of still surprising, that the Navy did an exercise about if a carrier task force could sneak up and attack Pearl Harbor, and they proved it could happen. They just never thought, would it happen? Would the Japanese ever do such a thing? Well, they know now. I guess this. They expected, they wanted to stay neutral like they did in the First World War. They never expected that they would get dragged into the Second World War, and when they did, pretty much like it's been rumored and said, the Japanese had awoken the sleeping giant. Which actually I think I found out that's actually a myth, that the admiral in charge of the attack did not technically say that. He said maybe something that could be similar, but he didn't actually say that he awoke from the sleeping giant like movies would expect you. Which actually, I can tell you, the Admiral, that he didn't want to do it, but ordered from the Emperor. Well, I think the Emperor said, yes, you can go ahead with it, so they're like, alright, do it. It was led by Vice Admiral Grita Nagumo. I think I said his last name right, but I know I butchered his first name. So anyone that's from Japan, I do apologize. I am trying my best. I'll just say his last name, Nagumo. But pretty much everything else around there was not there. The carriers weren't like... Enterprise was off a good distance away, probably 3 days away from Pearl Harbor, potentially. Indianapolis to later drop off the parts to the Hiroshima bomb was away. A bunch of other destroyers and a cruiser were away. Yes, Lexington and Saratoga were nowhere near. Oh yeah, they were off too. Well, only Lexington. I guess Saratoga wasn't in the Pacific at the time. But enough about those ships that were some of the primary targets for it. Let's go actually to the ship that we're talking about, California. She was the 26th in line, which she was near Ford Island. She was away from practically everything. Well, she was kind of isolated. She was sunk, according to this. But let us see. As soon as I turn, come on, get the other guns to bear. Let's see, California, heavily damaged. She was returned to service in January 1944, so as you probably see why it took her so long, comparative to Tennessee and Maryland, which were recommissioned in 42. She had been sunk, which, let's see, Tennessee, what number was she again on here? 21. Yeah, so she was damaged. Maryland, she was 23, and she was just damaged next to a destroyed Oklahoma. Which actually, conveniently enough, Driven is actually playing. Pretty much like I know it's going to be for the others. Let's see, technically Maryland and West Virginia, yeah, they were both late, so pretty much since I said this, I don't have Maryland. It's not in the game, sadly. I will play with a slightly it'll be a slightly altered thing. You know, technically she wasn't there, but we will play with a Colorado class battleship besides West Virginia. So we will instead with Maryland, who definitely got an extensive refit, I'm pretty sure, just like the California here, and also West Virginia, we shall be playing with Colorado, who was upgraded. Any aircraft guns were heavily done, but she wasn't done to this maxification. Maxification, I guess, would be, I guess, a good word. Or to this level, I should say. That's probably better. Of an extensive refit. Goodness. Well, when I get to it, I'll talk about it. Now it's just for the California and us trying to get the Driven so we can help him get the will to rebuild.
Yes, please.
Since he is burning, I guess he doesn't want to do the history lesson like he's supposed to, or he's supposed to just be a total loss.
I want to at least succeed.
Where the live counterpart sadly it was confirmed a total loss. But I'm surprised, Ruben, you do not have the California. I thought you researched it. It was in the red, white, and blue researchable thing.
What I saw, I didn't have it. I got Montana, and I got Alaska, and I think I got a British battleship, but I don't have the I don't have California, I don't think.
You don't have this one.
Cause I looked all throughout the Americans, I only got Oklahoma and Montana as the
Premium and Legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did at least. Well, I know me and you went after Oklahoma because they did a time limit on that ship. Like, ooh, you can only, once it's gone, doesn't matter if you're researching it, it's gone.
Did I have a certain time for California?
Not that I'm aware of. We might have to ask Michael to see if he has it down. Not sure, but I think he might have said he might have the research for California.
Yeah, because I was looking for the research and I didn't find California. Unless I have to look. Again.
It would be in the Bureau projects. The research way was like the Oklahoma, like at the very end, it's 10 of them, 10 stages. I need to take a drink since I'm talking too damn much again.
Pass out.
It ain't bloody just passing out. It's I don't need to dry my throat out. I'm surprised now that I think of it, none of the New Mexico class battleships were actually in Pearl Harbor.
Aw, come on. You better. Come on.
Our team is taking the lead.
Which I think they were prior to the Tennessee class. They went Pennsylvania class, then New Mexico class, then Tennessee class, and then West Virginia class, and then that was the end of the standard types.
Queen Elizabeth's moving, man.
About a 24 and maybe 25 knots of speed. I think mainly 24, 23.
I gotta aim like 5 notches ahead. Unless you just slow down. If you slow down.
Keep turning. Oh, look at California. Dead ahead.
Our victory is in sight.
Maybe I can get a lucky hit on her if she just keeps coming. Shit. Now don't ram into her now.
I'm not trying to. She's gonna do it.
Our victory is in sight.
Well, shoot, I can't get my guns on her. And that did nothing. I disabled both of her front guns, but that's it. You bastard.
She's gonna hit me because she had the... You gotta be... Really? Well, we
She's the
won.
last one and crap.
Yeah, not fair. It's just, how do I think of it? Technically, it'll go out of order. We'll go to West Virginia since Colorado is a tier 6. So we'll do the West Virginia since that's the most in a Pearl Harbor configuration out of all of them. Which actually, before I forget, just in case I forgot, here's the overall thing for the Tennessee, which actually it talks about them at Pearl Harbor. That one. And now this one.
Yeah, on here I am not seeing any California.
Well, did you check in the Bureau project? Because that's where she is.
Yeah, I'm looking in the bureau.
You're under red, white, and blue, so let's pause on this stuff.
Unless I go to command.
No, let's see.
Assignments.
Yeah, red, white, and blue. She was completed for me. What the heck did I get here? Oh, yeah. Can't go away, I guess.
I'm in the brew.
I'll decide later.
Is he conquered?
Don't you do that.
Sorry. Sapien. I ain't even looking in the archive. I got
Guess that
Camp
means you don't have.
Belton down, Yamato, Alaska. First, Oklahoma, and then Montana.
Which actually do I have? You should have been potentially flying this flag, but I wasn't thinking about it. Sadly, do not have it, but I would probably, who knows, they might have put one in the World of Warships thing, but pretty much this. Here's West Virginia. We'll do her sister ship, Colorado, in place of Maryland, but as you can see, this ship is not as well protected as Colorado. There are pictures of West Virginia here just as armed to the teeth as Colorado afterwards. She's not armed at all with any aircraft guns, so pretty much 16-inch guns, good. Everything else, not so good.
This is gonna have to be my last match.
Aw. Damn.
Where? I guess I'll go to this again.
Wait, it's kind of off topic for the stream, but later, get down for some Sea of Thieves if you're back, whenever you come back.
Yeah, I'm down.
Alright, maybe we can get Michael and Potato. But back on to the stream topic and the history. Like I said, West Virginia, she's basically her Pearl Harbor configuration. Not anything massive changed on her. She looks as what she was in the harbor. And let's see, West Virginia, she was 22. None of them, besides, none of them were next to. Pretty much, West Virginia here was in front of, like, California, like, Tennessee, I believe. Yeah, Tennessee. Or actually in front of Arizona when, boom. They were more to the stern of her. Pretty much, sadly, And like the other ones, like California, Tennessee, soon to be Colorado, Maryland, and West Virginia, she's part of the Big Five, the most powerful ships that the U.S. Navy had at the time. Which, if that's the case, let's see. I guess it doesn't sound as good, but the Big Ten, I guess, or all the other fast technically treaty era, but not fat. We'll just Kurupu, the fast battleships of the American, the Big Ten, I guess you could almost say, which would lead North Carolina, Washington, then South Dakota, Massachusetts, Alabama. I don't sadly know the other name of the South Dakota battleship. Put it in the comments down below which was the last one. I don't know off the top of my head. And then the Iowas. Iowa, New Jersey, Missouri, Wisconsin. The Big Five in the 30s and everything. And I guess the Big Ten in the 40s.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Are you serious? Are you gonna literally hit me? Okay, I was about to say. What
Nope.
the heck?
Oh, definitely not me. You're closer. Let's see. If see if they hit that. Which no. One over penetrated. Now, technically, that I think of it, I will post the video at the end credits when this thing allows me to put the end stuff like a playlist, a #1 video that it chooses, or video I choose, and my thing for my channel picture. I will put a game, Battle Stations Pacific, which actually I played in probably maybe the first 20 minutes, maybe even less, of that particular live stream. Actually, I did do the attack on Pearl Harbor, and I also went after, I think towards the end, I did 2 British battleships. I battled the new King George V and I think Renowned, a battle cruiser of the British. I'll read that more later. Sorry, if you heard the ding, it's my aunt in Michigan texting me about something about deliveries and all that for Christmas gifts. For the wee ones up north, for all my cousins, her granddaughters. Kind of asking the wrong person, I would think. Yeah, I love them to pieces, but I don't know what they really like. They know they like me freaking just throwing them around and chasing them. Them getting on my nerves, which they like to do, like cousins do, especially little,
The enemy team has taken the lead.
I guess baby cousins, even though they're not really babies except one.
Bye. Almost.
Hit me right at the ass end.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Got that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks to me.
Hi. You're welcome. Since I have not said it yet, let's see. West Virginia, heavily damaged, returned to service, July 1944. Can't believe I forgot about that.
Come on, hit her good. Oh yeah.
Let's see, will it 16-inch shells kill her the rest of the way for you? Nope. Not even one shot.
Are you serious?
Thanks for detecting them for me so I can turn.
Yeah, sure.
And taking them so I don't get hit either.
Sure.
What's in this stream? Not really history or anything, but
Alright, kill this Koenig, darn it.
two of my friends, one of them is
Koenigsberg.
two people that I've played with on this game. One of them's right here, and another one's on Xbox doing whatever now. These two, anytime they've seen me play with the West Virginia battleship, they've actually played the West Virginia Take Me Home song and everything, which don't play it now, Driven, because
Yeah, I know. You're good.
copyright.
Yeah.
You can play the stupid song later when it's cut if you want it to.
Dadgummit. Ah, why am I knee doing that? Why are you
Thanks.
doing that knee?
Thanks again.
Sure. Oh,
There
my
must
knee
be
didn't want to straighten out.
There must be two destroyers near us, since that's what killed that cruiser. Yep.
I don't like that. So I'm like a one torpedo hit.
Well,
And
up.
I got two fires now. What the heck?
get your spotting aircraft up to see if you can locate them.
I don't have a spotting aircraft. I got a whatchamacallit.
Fighter returning to ship.
Yes, you should. You have a crane for the spotting plane, so you should have one unless
Yeah,
you
I
don't
got
have it equipped.
yeah, I don't have it equipped. I have the fighter airplane to help me out with the daggum whatchamacallits. The aircraft carriers.
The spotting aircraft do that too.
Huh?
The spotting aircraft shoot stuff down too.
I thought they did. I thought some of them didn't.
No, the spotting do. That's what they originally for before these other stuff.
Come on, darn it. Just one more good hit.
Torpedoes to starboard.
I agree.
Before I die, please. I'm not gonna have enough time. Sending out. Come on, fire! I had 0.5 seconds left, you son of a gun.
I'll do it.
Wow.
Aw.
Problem solved, sir.
That wasn't even a full salvo. Was it?
No, that was only two. That was the aft guns.
And you missed.
I had two deflections. Then two missed.
Exactly. That one might do some damage.
Enemy battleship sunk.
I'm going away from that damn Fubuki.
Well, you're the last one.
I'm gonna stay the last one too. I don't care if they capture the base. I'm not getting taken out, but I will, I guess,
Torpedoes to
have to
starboard.
take that ship with me. Shoot it.
Torpedoes
Make my
to
aft
starboard.
guns turn around.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Come on, turn faster. just as I fired my last salvo. I forgot about this milestone stuff. Woohoo! Ooh, me and Driven were the... Wait a minute. How the hell is that possible? You're number 1 in the team. I'm number 2.
Heck yeah!
What the hell's that bullshit?
I got high caliber, baby. 89,000 damage.
And I sunk 3 ships.
But I still got that much. Wait, how much damage did you do?
Have to see once it pops up. Let's see. Total damage was West Virginia, 63,782.
Suck it. 89,000 damage. And somehow I didn't get no kill.
Nope.
Like that don't even, like, man, I had enough to kill 1 ship or 1.5 ships I could have killed if I shot from them from full health to last health.
And now I see that you're now getting off for to go do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, say goodbye to the stream, Driven.
Goodbye, stream. Good luck.
I thank you, and I thank you for being on.
Thank you, Dave, for having me.
You're welcome. I shall finish the stream off with the Colorado.
Have a good one.
You too. Sad to see it, but we shall finish off the stream with Colorado, substituting the Maryland. Sorry, I don't know much about it, but technically I do know this. Maryland was technically how it goes. The name of the ship's class is basically the first one entered service. Technically, Maryland, or the first one laid down. Technically, Maryland was laid down first, but Colorado launched first. 6 months earlier and everything. It's kind of a weird thing. I believe they tell it good on the YouTube channel Battleship New Jersey, which the curator of the ship loves the Colorado class, or it could be sometimes called the Maryland class, since the whole thing. I'll put a link down in the description below about it when I can. But pretty much to speak a little bit about, well, pretty much, I'm pretty sure Maryland got upgraded just like as West Virginia did. Who knows? I don't think she would have been upgraded. Colorado here was upgraded with anti-aircraft gun, so she was good. But let me see. Maryland, heavily damaged, entered service 1942. So potentially she could have looked like this. Not the one funnel like California got, which also then a couple others got. Let's see, Maryland, she was 22, she was sunk. Oh no, that's West Virginia. 23, she was damaged. Not sunk. My mistake. Pretty much that's why she came back in 42, Maryland. So fast. Just like a couple others where other ones were sunk, heavily damaged, and they had to be refloated. I think Maryland was there also alongside West Virginia, which I forgot to mention, at the Saragasso Strait, where Fuso and Yamashiro were both bombarded by battleships, destroyers launching their torpedoes, everything. Sorry that my knowledge is starting to waver, I guess, on that. I guess I worked up my brain a little too much on all this. Which, the thing about this is, I'll admit this. Yes, this stream was planned when I bought Arizona. to finish off the Pearl Harbor battleships that I had. I did not. The research is basically what I knew offhand, and maybe what a little other stuff here and there throughout all these other videos. And basically, most of this stuff, it's not in my head, like I'm admitting. It's off my book. Which, this still is the best Christmas gift I ever gotten, that I wanted. Never wanted to read a book ever, or anything, unless I got me interested. This, could not put it down when I found it. Love it. It's the only book I probably ever wanted, and I've used it a lot in these World of Warship videos. If I don't look it up in the videos, I take whatever I have, sticky notes, pieces of paper, or the blanket that's right behind me, and mark the pages off so I can go where everything is. And talk about it, give you the history and everything. It has been a while since I played California. Or not California. Colorado. Which, this ship, yes, it was upgraded. It was anti-aircraft guns, as you can see, but it was in the home. It was all the way in California when Pearl Harbor happened. She was not one of the victims. Just much like the New York and Texas and Ranger, and like I said probably earlier, Saratoga. The rest of them, besides, were in the Atlantic. Which, some of them stayed there in the Atlantic. I know Texas, probably New York as well, which I think, yeah, New York. They went back and forth from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Ranger, I think, mainly stayed in the Atlantic till Essex class carriers came online and all that, and then she stayed over there. She was a training ship because not big, not fast. She was a ship before the treaty era, like the Yorktown class and Hornet.
Enemy battleship sighted. Main turret critically damaged. Problem solved, sir.
Sorry about that. Yes. Ranger was a training ship, so she didn't really serve CM action, I'm pretty sure. Where she stayed in the Atlantic, where no one could really contest her, so her lower aircraft wing were perfect enough for her. You gotta set me on fire, don't you? Come on. Sunk him, but they sunk me.
We've destroyed an enemy
And
battleship.
that is pretty much the end of it. We shall watch California sink in everything else. And pretty much somewhat of the outro. What did you think of all this? Did you find out, did you learn stuff that you didn't know about some of the stuff that happened in Pearl Harbor and everything else? Maybe stuff about the ships you didn't know about, potentially. Or you learned a little bit more, or I refreshed your memory from basically what I could remember tell you from my book without having to go through every other page about it and other stuff. How's this? Leave a comment down below when this becomes a video. Out of all the Pearl Harbor battleships, which one is your favorite? Which design would you like to see maybe in the game if they could ever happen? Like, would you like to see more of them look as they did at Pearl Harbor or after Pearl Harbor? Maybe some of the ships that were at Pearl Harbor that are not in the game. Let me know. But pretty much we shall end it looking at the ship that is the symbolic beginning of the Pearl Harbor, Arizona herself. And she is there still to this day with pretty much a good chunk of all her crew still down there to this day. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell to notify you anytime that I post a video or go live. Please leave a comment down below for the questions that I asked you, or any questions you might have for me. I'll try to answer maybe the best as I can, and also as I see them. But until then, hope you'll have a great rest of your day, and I shall catch you all in the next one. See ya. Oops.